Hey guys, how you doing? This is Mr. Rogers from usbjtag.com. This is just a little video follow-up to show you guys that I figured out on my own what the X1 Platform diagnostic menu seat code key sequence was, which all this time Capone, told me he didn't know it, and keep trying to look and see what it was, but this whole time he played me like a fiddle and he knew exactly what it was. So at the same time, I props to him for having me, do it on my own. You're still an asshole, dude, but I love you. So there's that. Anyways, like I did the video review before, so it shows you whatever's on and all that, so that's cool. But anyways, without further ado, here's the actual diagnostic / occult menu for the X1 Platform series boxes, which also applies to the RNG150N, which is the any room DVR without the DVR. So here we go. Let me try this. Okay, so this is the main menu of the occult menu. It's the summary page. It basically tells you the firmware version. Mine happens to be PX001AN_1.2.1 S5_PRODSE. And then it tells you the CP and CA statuses, firmware date. I'm not sure if that's the firmware build date or the actual date that the firmware was put on the box, but either way it doesn't matter. Now, two things I noticed. Well, one thing actually. Tuner 1, which is this right here, and that's tuner 2. Tuner 1 has a signal to noise ratio of 38.7 decibels, which is not very good. But tuner 2 is on 0.0, so carrier 1 on tuner 1 is locked, and carrier lock on tuner 2 is unlocked, which I don't understand that. I guess it has to do if you're watching or recording multiple shows, and that's when you would actually get some sort of signal or signal to noise ratio from that particular tuner. So the second page, it shows you tuner 3, which is 0.0 signal to noise ratio. It's also unlocked. And tuner 4 is locked on at 38.7 decibels. So I'm assuming that's the channel that I'm on right now. I'm using tuner 4 to tune into whatever channel I'm on right now at the current time. Which I'm not actually on any channel per se. I'm actually in the guide. So there's that. So that could potentially be the guide. And then there's tuner 5, which shows you nothing. That could also be due to the fact that my box is not activated yet. So moving on, the summary page has 3 pages, which shows you other stuff. There's application signaling, PAT, PMT timeouts, IB, OOBs, OC timeouts, and then it shows you in-band network, how many times the tuner failed, the last field frequency. So it basically gives you like a little readout of what doesn't work. It's almost like with a cable modem log. It tells you the logs of what went wrong and what, so you can basically troubleshoot. So that a technician could probably potentially troubleshoot using this information. So there's that. So let me just go back here. Alright, so back to channel 1, and then you get over to manufacturer diags. So I'm going to go into that so you guys can see. It basically, the manufacturer diags basically tells you about pace and how they built, the build date and who helped build it and whatnot. So you have your root CA certificate available, which is true obviously. CVC CA certificate, which is true obviously. Manufacturer CVC certificate and the root CA subject Root CA subject with most cable boxes would be Cable Lab CVC. Because most cable boxes, Cable Labs contributes a lot to the, the manufacturing and making of cable modems and anything to do with the network in general. So Cable Labs is tied into a lot of things, and there's a lot of us people tied into Cable Labs, so you can see how this works. Then you have your CVC CA subject, which is, again, Cable Labs. Your root CA subject, Cable Labs, and it tells you the start date, which I'm assuming is the date that they, intended to start. And then the root CA end date, I'm assuming 2032 is the date that the box is going to not work. By then, we should have much better technology. Cross my fingers. But for right now, this will do. 5 tuners with the 6 tuner, being able to change channels and record 5 channels at the same time. Not too bad. Manufacturing CVC subject, Pates Micro Technology, manufacturing CVC. So that's obviously the company that, manufactured the box, so it makes sense. Certs verified with chain is true, which is a good thing, obviously. If it was a knockoff, it wouldn't be true, and I don't even think you would get this Diag menu, but that's just a matter of opinion. So going back, let me see here, alright, they tell you about the HDCP, which I learned a long time ago from a good friend, MacGyver 12, that HDCP is not a good thing. HDCP stands for High Definition Content Protection, or Copyright Protection, whichever you want to call it. It's pretty much the same thing, and it basically is like a copyright protection built into the cable itself. So, which HDMI cabling is HDCP, and well, that's how you use HDCP, is by using HDMI wire. But the way around that, which MacGyver 12 explained it to me, is if you use component cables, that's basically in essence the same thing as the HDMI wire, but split up into multiple wires. So you can still get 1080p out of component wires, but it's just multiple wires as opposed to an HDMI wire, which is singular. So there's that. So going back, all right. Then you have your 1394 connection, which I don't know of anybody to use. There's 2 pages on this particular thing. It tells you information, certificate, production key, port connection status. Obviously, there's nothing plugged in, so it's not going to show anything. But as far as using 1394 now at this point, that would be like trying to use this as a media center when it's already a media center. So it's kind of counterintuitive to even build that into the box. So that's just a little tip for the manufacturers and the engineers. The M card, I'm going to block out some information when I edit the video, but it shows the host ID. The M card is the important page here. It shows you the host ID of the box, which is in essence how you're going to get your box, going. Certificate available, certificate valid, verified with chain and production key. And then you have device cert subject name, which is a long string of stuff that you wouldn't understand. Device cert, issuer name, manufacturer cert, subject name, and manufacturer cert, issuer name. And so you have that. So going back, you have OCAP. I don't have any idea what OCAP is, but whatever it is, it's not available. And then you have VL, I think the next option is. I'm not sure. Oops. It's another 1394 connection. It basically gives you device ID, model name, manufacturer name, certificate valid, which is false, obviously, because there's nothing connected. So there's zeros across the board, which makes sense. CTP/ATP, which makes no sense to me. The certifications not available because I have no idea what that is, and I guess it's not important to whatever. And it might have something to do with any room DVR, I'm not sure, as well as the other things. System description, this is also a very important thing to know. Probably the most important thing to know. The true two-way, it basically gives you the host system description. It gives you the hardware revision, which is CAD-3, vendor, which is obviously Pace Micro Technology. Boot revision, not known. Software revision, which is PX001AN_1.2.1 S5_PROD-SE. Model is obviously PX001ANM, which is the X1 box. Host properties, which is important information, which can be used to authorize a box. Host ID 0-470-, which I'm not going to read off the rest, but because I'm going to end up blanking this stuff out. But this is the important information that you need to know in order to activate a box in the instance that you do not have stickers on the box to tell you this information. So there's that. And then there's another page to this, so I'll just get right over to it. Hardware revision, it tells you that, which is the cable modem design. I guess it has a built-in cable modem, which is cool. And then you have the vendor, boot revision, software revision, and the model, which is pretty much the same, except for the boot revision, which is that's for the modem, which the box did not have. Software revision is exactly the same. Model obviously is the same. And then going back, we have STV mode, which I'm going to see what that is. Set-top box mode. Let's see here what we get. Select. I'll just hit OK and see if that does it. Okay. OCAP mode status enabled now, which I have no idea what that is. The newly selected STV mode will be effective after reboot. I'm not sure what this is, but I'm going to try to turn that off because I don't want but anyways, that's pretty much what it is as far as the information on the occult menu. That's the occult menu. That's pretty much everything. And that's the manufacturer diags. Let me see if I can get out of here last. Okay. So you have that, and that's just the manufacturer diags. So then we have the system. Whoops. System, it tells you the in-band tune count, failed time, tune count, blah, blah, blah. Correctable, uncorrectable, PCR lock, which is good, on tune 1. Why is the phone always ringing, man?
Call from anonymous. Call.
Hello? 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 Anyways, going back, we have the tuners, which is 9 pages long on the system settings. So I'll just kind of skim right through that so you can see. It tells you frequency, locks, OOB settings, so we have downstream frequencies, carrier lock, downstream signal to noise ratio, which is good. 36.3 is actually very good. Upstream center frequency is 36.5. Upstream power 48.3, which is I think that's borderline if you ask me. But the ESTB, ECM, and card gives you all the information: MAC address, IP address, etc. Then we have OCAP apps, which shows you all kinds of different stuff. Next page shows memory table, ROM, DRAM, and flash. It shows you how much the size is, which is actually very important. Next page, which is the last page, connection status is true. It's a good thing. Compliant HDCP device, which is obviously a good thing. It's compliant. So scanning format is progressive, so it's always scanning. Aspect ratio 16:9. I like how they spell it out too. Frame rate is 60 hertz. I wish it was 120 because that's what my TV is. Vertical lines, which is 1080, which is 1080p. So there's that, and we're going to go down to card now. So card diagnostics. So let's see what we get here. Okay, so it shows you the card diagnostics, which some of the stuff I've never seen before in my life. I've never seen any of this. OOB mode, DSG, CP certificate check, CP status, CCI challenge count, key generation count, CPID list, which I think this stuff is important. There's card ID, host ID, card manufacturer ID, etc., etc. Gives you all kinds of different information, which I think is a good thing. VCT ID, etc. It tells you time zone, system ID, CP system ID, CA status, card manufacturer ID. I think I said that already. So then there's conditional access, which is, oh, this is cool. It shows you the unit address right there. EMM, CSN, connection, yes. EBCP, active, and this is all really big, bold lettering. Wow. So if you really need to find out your unit address, this is where you need to go. Cable card status, manufacturer, Motorola uptime. This is not Motorola's box, this is Pace. But I guess Motorola has their hand in everything, don't they? Cable card status, that basically shows you the hardware, the boot, firmware, the unit address of the cable card, and then underneath it the unit address of the cable card itself. Network setup, which just kind of skipped over. It shows your OOB mode, two-way, all that. OOB status, EMM ID, which we used to, back in the day, change so they couldn't do anything. Cable card pairing. In order to start cable service to this device, please contact your cable provider, blah, 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 blah. So I don't think I need to do that because I have someone that can do that for me, so there's always that. DSG, there's that. Interactive info, and then CANH status, which I have no idea what that is. Gives you more info. So I'm going to go to last, get out of card diags if I can. Try to get out of this. Okay, last. Okay, so that's just the card. DVR info. This should be interesting. Okay, internal HDD model, it doesn't tell me. Format enable status, true. So that means I can format using this box, which is a very good thing. You can use an external hard disk drive, which I'm not sure about, which I'm going to try. TSB info, I have no idea what that is. I have no idea what that is. But this is very good to know. I like that this is showing up in the diagnostic menu. So it tells you basically what's used and what's available total. So it's a 500 gigabyte hard drive. I can tell because there's about 4 billion kilobytes. So that's 500 gigabytes. Last. Reboot set-top box, that's if you want to reboot the box, if you have problems, or if you just want to simply reboot. On-screen diagnostics, model, DAC ID, channel map ID, HDMI audio, surround, component audio, surround, host ID, which is, it shows this everywhere. Cable card ID, country code, etc. Cable card version. Well, that was actually one of 5 pages, or 3 pages, I'm sorry. It shows you audio frequency, modulation, which is QAM 256, applications. I already went through this, so let me just get out of that. So now next we have system debug. So it shows you ESDB IP. ECM IP, which is how they hit your box. DSG/card VCT-ID, not okay, which is, I don't understand what that means. So there's 4 pages of this stuff. Okay, so there's that. Flow status, I don't know what that is. So that's the 4th page. And then Mocha Diagnostics. Mocha network status unavailable, Mocha link status. Oh, disabled. Okay, that just changed from unavailable to disabled, so that's good to know. So once I get this box activated, I think then I can actually do something with all this stuff. So so we'll see. Let me see what I can find. I'm trying to get to something here, but I can't find out what it is. Hold on. But anyways, that's just basically everything on the screen. Why does it keep going up? Anyways, that's it for the diagnostics. I'm sorry it took about a half an hour to go through everything, but there is a lot of options under the diagnostic system. So there's that. Anyways, enjoy.